If you're looking for one awesome knife, the Spyderco Native 5 is something for you to consider. Now we have two different knives over here. We have the Benchmade Bug Out, which is the small one, and the Native 5. And I wanted to show you so you can see kind of the size difference between those two. And they're equivalent, almost the same when it comes to some functionality, and the price is actually cheaper for the Native 5 than the Bug Out. So why should you get the Bug Out? What is better about the Bug Out than the Native 5? But specifically, why the Native 5 is actually one of the better knives for you to get. So the Bug Out has something that the Native 5 doesn't have, and it can flick very fast. It also has this side lock over here that is much more better than the lock that comes with this one. Now, and I will show you that this is not overall a bad knife. A lot of people get the Para Professional because they think it is the best knife out there that Spyderco actually makes, but in reality it's not the best knife. It is one of the better knives that they make. This one is just so much better in terms of value. You're getting almost the same exact thing with this knife as the Spyderco Para, but except this, the lock right here. So you can see it has a backside lock, and this is probably one of the biggest drawbacks of this one. It has the same exact cutting power, and this is the serrated version. And if you want to close it, all you have to do is just to press this down, and then you can easily just close it just like that. Now to open it up, this is another thing that this one is not as good as, because you have to use your finger to flick it. But unlike the Para 3, which is much easier to flick it up or do Spidey flick on it, this one you cannot do it, because it's just the mechanism is basically stretched with there is inside of it. What happens is there is tension with a metal stick here, and this stick, which is on a spring, is what actually opens and closes this thing. So because the spring gets tension like this, it's much harder for you to pull this. There's a resistance as you're pulling it just like that. And of course, as you close it, the spring goes the other way around, and this is why this thing just snaps in. So that explains the mechanism behind this. Now there is good things about this that I like. First of all, this material is really nice. I like the way this actually feels. Also, there's 4 different locations. You can go ahead and move this around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can take it out and just move it anywhere you actually like. Another good thing about this, if you don't like the clip at all, just take it out. It's going to be no clip whatsoever. And this is pretty long. As you can see, it gives you a lot of gripping surface. I like the jiggly edge at the top. Also protection right here from you accidentally cutting yourself in case you need bigger grip. So if this is not big enough for you, have huge hands, it gives you right here. Or if you need something much closer and moving it closer to the knife, you can do this as well. This is the CPM S30V steel, and it's made in United States in Colorado, American made, which is a good thing. Now let's compare this in terms of size wise to another knife over here. So this is not a comparable knife to this, but this is more of a full size longer knife, and you can see the difference between them. Now on the other hand, comparing it to a cheaper knife such as this, which is really a full size knife, but it is much cheaper, you can tell the difference between big and small. And talking about small here, the Bug Out is definitely on the small side, so this comes in around medium size when it comes to that. So when you're looking for a knife, it depends. Like really carrying something like this is huge. It already looks like a weapon, although this is a really cheap ass knife. On the other hand, something like this, it looks kind of stylish, it looks cool. I'd rather keep this in my pocket. On the other hand, the bug out. It is really handy because you're getting such a small knife in a very small package. And with this one, the Spyderco, you can see it's a little bit bigger. So this one saves you real estate space over here. But when it comes to being a really good knife and cutting power, well, Spyderco has some of the best out there, and this one is just great looking one. The biggest downside is just this part over here, which some people don't like, because also, first of all, when you put your hand here, it's difficult to access. You're not going to accidentally just press on it. It takes a lot of power for you to press on and to move it down, so that's not going to happen. Not going to accidentally like disengage the lock with this one if that is something you're worried about. It's almost impossible to happen. Now, this knife, when you fold it, you can see it in my hand, giving you a lot of room here. And overall, it is really an exceptionally well-made, small, medium-sized knife that is tactical, and you can easily just open it with one finger. No, you cannot close it with one as well if you wanted to. You gotta do two-hand here. You can attempt to press on it, and then you try to move it, it becomes dangerous. Because this thing has to be held at all times, and then this one has to be moved. And this is probably one of the biggest drawback of this knife, is potentially if you want to close it, you gotta hold it. You gotta hold it, and then you have to move. And now you can go ahead and close it. This is something that a lot of knives don't actually have a mechanism like this. I'm not sure why. Something this annoying, because even if you just press on it, you see, unless it just falls a little bit down and now it engaged the lock. Well, I guess you can do it this way, but then be careful when you're closing it. We always use two fingers to close this thing down, just for safety purposes. Overall, probably a 9 out of 10. The price is definitely decent for what it is. It has very good cutting power, great grip, awesome looks. It is not better than a Para 3, but it is definitely cheaper, and it is a great alternative to that. So consider this as an alternative to the Para 3 if you're looking for something decent that can cut very well, yet you don't want to break the budget or you don't want to ruin a very nice Para 3 knife. Just get this one instead. If you like this channel, make sure you sub to it. See you in the next video of this show, where you never know, next thing gonna be featured over here.